Our experience with the first Mortal Kombat was, it turned out great, but the game was very rushed. It was an 8-month project from concept to shipped game, which was crazy when you think about that. Certainly in my head, there was 10 things that I would have done differently.
Shortly after Mortal Kombat 1, Ed and I started to think about what do we want to do next. And one idea we had was we wanted to do a Star Wars game. Ken Fedesna came down, and I remember us talking excitedly about Star Wars. And Ken's response was, Star Wars, what are you guys talking about with this Star Wars, business? You guys have got to do a sequel to this game. And so that was the first time that I thought, oh, okay, I guess, we're signed up for a sequel.
So new hardware came, new tools came. Warren Davis and all these guys, Todd Allen, everybody was like working on tools to make things better, and we just inherited that. Oh my God.
One of the things that is better about Mortal Kombat 2 from Mortal Kombat 1 is the graphics. Originally, everything was done off of VHS tapes, and it was kind of blurry and stuff.
We eventually started capturing images directly onto the hard drive as opposed to putting it on videotape and then going to the hard drive.
Okay, ready? Ready? Is it live or is it ready to go? That was good.
That allowed us to knock out that losty videotape format that would bleed onto everything.
It just became a more efficient process, a cleaner image for sure.
Outstanding.
We added much better kind of combo system that was going.
Jax wins.
You could turn around and kick. Which to this day I can't believe the first Mortal Kombat doesn't have. A lot bigger of a roster. We wanted to expand, so we had 12 characters and added Jax. That was huge. Katana Molina, who are synonymous with Mortal Kombat at this point.
One of the reasons I know that we swapped Sonya for Katana Molina was because of their masks. We were able to get 2 for 1. So the same palette swapping technique we used for Scorpion and Sub-Zero, we thought, okay, let's take advantage of this with the female characters.
Katana wins. Fatality.
Tony Goski, graphic genius.
Hey, it's Ed Boom.
Ed, John Tobias, and Martin Mel walk in my office. Ed says, hey Tony, we're thinking, do you want to work on Mortal Kombat? I was an instant yes.
Tony Goski was working on a game called NBA Jam, and he was doing a great job, but he, in his heart, he was a traditional painter, and so when Mortal Kombat 2 came along, he was a perfect fit.
It suited my style and things I enjoyed. Fantasy art, starting to get into surrealism with, like say, Dali and Magritte, and I kind of just went that direction,
Tony Goski defined a majority of the look and feel of Mortal Kombat 2, specifically the backgrounds.
Tony's influence came into what does Outworld look like? What does, this really mysterious Mortal Kombat, this fantasy Mortal Kombat, what does that look like?
Introducing the Outworld was huge because it completely carved a new look for Mortal Kombat. Kind of used like Chinese influence, but with graphic and surrealism kind of coming together. Pit was an iconic stage in MK1, so we made the Pit 2. The person, dun dun dun, gets hit, and it would do what we would call a camera cut now, but it would just do a top view of the person doing like this, and the background would scale up, and
Reptile wins.
He came up with this living forest, and he put my face on the trees.
Oh man.
Albert Brooks all over it. All had to be drawn.
No digitizing for Tony.
What? I did digitize the tree and Ed's face. We digitized that. And then I would draw on top of it the bark and everything to make it look like a tree. Obviously, we all like horror movies and things that are like shocking. You go all the way to the left, and there's a tree kind of looking straight down the fight line, and that's based off Ash from The Evil Dead. That was like one of my favorite backgrounds to work on.
When I was a teenager, I did some stop-action animation just for fun with a Super 8 camera, with clay and toys and stuff like that. When doing Kintaro, there weren't a lot of frames to begin with. It's like, you know, and you know, you would hang on that last, you know, hit or whatever. I would sort of try to mimic what John was doing with main characters as I was doing Kintaro.
For me, what was most exciting was there was this fiction that we would tell a little bit of story just through a couple sentences in the attract mode. And so once the talk of a sequel came about, I knew that, okay, this is our opportunity to tell all this story that we alluded to in the first game. Now we can sort of move things forward.
And so I mean, it was just, we're so young. It was just like, cool, we're gonna do a number 2. Okay. And that's about my thought process, you know, cool, I still have a job.